In the world of cooking, few brands carry the weight, the prestige, and the unmistakable identity of Le Creuset. You may know it by its vibrant flame-orange Dutch oven sitting proudly on a kitchen counter, or by its rainbow of enameled cast iron that has become both a culinary workhorse and a symbol of taste. But behind the glossy colors and the gourmet reputation lies a story of survival, reinvention, and global empire building. Today, we explore how a small French factory, born from iron and fire, almost collapsed under family disputes, only to rise again under the vision of an unlikely savior, transforming itself into a worldwide culinary empire. Let's rewind the clock to 1925, in a small factory town called Fresnoy-le-Grand in northern France. Two Belgian industrialists, Armand de Segur, a specialist in casting, and Octave Aubec, an enameling expert, joined forces. Their mission was ambitious: to create cast iron cookware that was not only functional, but beautiful. Their first product was a cocotte, what we now know as the Dutch oven, coated in a bright enamel finish. Unlike plain black iron pots of the time, this cookware gleamed with personality. They chose a fiery orange red, inspired by the molten iron in the casting process, and named it Flame. This single decision planted the DNA of Le Creuset. Color was not decoration. Color was identity. The factory's location was no accident. Fresnoy-le-Grand sat at a key crossroads of iron, sand, and fuel transport routes. The founders had immediate access to the raw materials essential for cast iron production. For decades, skilled workers poured molten iron into sand molds, cooled them, and coated them with enamel, all by hand. Each piece was unique, born of fire and human craft. As the years rolled on, Le Creuset cookware spread across France and beyond, gaining loyal followers who valued durability and performance. The company weathered wars, recessions, and economic shifts, staying rooted in its original factory. Yet by the late 20th century, storm clouds gathered. Despite its prestige, the company was plagued by infighting among the families who controlled it. Financial troubles mounted, innovation slowed. Le Creuset risked becoming a relic, overtaken by cheaper, mass-produced competitors. Enter Paul van Zuydam, a South African businessman with a keen eye for opportunity. He first visited the Le Creuset factory in the 1980s. He went in secret, intrigued but cautious. What he found shocked him. Behind the brand's glowing reputation was a company on shaky ground. The production process was still intensely manual, relying on traditional methods, but the business was fractured by family disputes. Van Zuydam later remarked, "If this factory failed 50 years ago, it was purely because of the fact that the families were fighting each other." Still, he saw something the world had overlooked. He saw potential. He was overwhelmed by the complexity of the craft, but he also recognized the brand's soul. Its colors. By then, other companies were making cast iron pots, but they were dull, uniform, and indifferent to aesthetics. Le Creuset's unique selling point was its vibrancy, its boldness. To Van Zuydam, this was not just cookware, it was culture, lifestyle, and aspiration, waiting to be expanded into a global empire. Taking control, Van Zuydam made bold moves. He doubled the capacity of the French cast iron factory, built up inventory reserves to ensure stability, and expanded product offerings. Under his leadership, Le Creuset's rainbow multiplied. What started with a classic flame color now exploded into Caribbean blue, Marseille, cherry red, and dozens more shades. Each color carried emotion, geography, and identity. Customers were no longer just buying a pot, they were buying self-expression. Van Zuydam also understood the psychology of luxury. He positioned Le Creuset not as a mere kitchen tool, but as an heirloom, an investment, and a statement piece. Cookware was marketed with the same care as jewelry or fashion. Slowly, the brand transformed into a lifestyle empire. From the kitchens of Michelin-starred chefs to the countertops of home cooks, Le Creuset became an icon. The strategy paid off. In the United States, a market once dominated by stainless steel, Le Creuset's colorful cast iron became the must-have cookware for serious cooks. In Asia, it was embraced as a symbol of Western sophistication. In Europe, it cemented its place as tradition and innovation blended into one. The genius of Le Creuset's expansion wasn't only in cookware. The company diversified into stoneware, stainless steel, nonstick, glassware, and even wine accessories. Each product carried the same DNA function paired with beauty, tradition paired with color. The empire was no longer just about pots. It was about living a lifestyle of refinement and joy in the kitchen. But none of this would matter without consistency in quality. Despite scaling production, Le Creuset remained committed to handcrafting at its French foundry. To this day, each cast iron piece still passes through multiple pairs of skilled hands, inspected at every step. Imperfections are rejected. Excellence is non-negotiable. For a brand that charges premium prices, this was the backbone of trust. Le Creuset also embraced collaborations, keeping its image fresh in an evolving world. Limited edition colors, partnerships with pop culture icons, and region-specific launches created excitement and exclusivity. Fans around the world collect Le Creuset pieces like art. Some are displayed proudly on open shelves, never hidden in cupboards. Still, the brand never strayed from its roots. The core product, the cast iron cocotte, remains a centerpiece. Nearly a century after its creation, it continues to symbolize comfort, durability, and culinary passion. Every pot tells a story, often spanning generations. Grandmothers pass them down to daughters, who pass them down again. The pot becomes part of the family, a witness to Sunday dinners, holiday feasts, and ordinary meals made extraordinary. Today, Le Creuset operates in over 60 countries, a global empire worth hundreds of millions. Its flame still burns from the original factory in Fresnoy-le-Grand, where molten iron continues to flow just as it did in 1925. But now, that flame illuminates kitchens across the world. The journey of Le Creuset is more than a business story. It is a lesson in vision and resilience. It teaches us that heritage alone is not enough. Without innovation and leadership, even the brightest brands can fade. But with the right vision, even a struggling factory can rise into an empire. Paul van Zuydam's insight transformed a fading French cookware brand into a global powerhouse. He doubled capacity, expanded choice, and made color its language. What was once a niche became universal. What was once cookware became culture. So the next time you see a Le Creuset Dutch oven, remember this. It is more than enamel and iron. It is fire and craft, tradition and reinvention, family and empire. It is proof that from the heat of struggle, beauty can be forged. And in the glow of its colors, we see a reminder. Empires are not always built from steel and stone. Sometimes they are built from iron, enamel, and vision. From a tiny French town in 1925 to kitchens across the globe, Le Creuset built more than cookware. It built an empire. Known for its iconic, colorful Dutch ovens, Le Creuset almost collapsed under family feuds and financial turmoil until South African businessman Paul van Zuydam stepped in and transformed it into a global powerhouse. An empire that continues to spark.